Hello everyone, welcome to the Master Your Pop workshop. We are working through the Artful Agenda application. So this is part 2. This is my favorite calendar app, and today I'm going to show you how to organize the lists feature, and we're going to dive into some awesome calendar settings. Alrighty, so you can see here I am in the Artful Agenda app and I'm on my mobile device. And so the very first part 1 of this demonstration, we went over how the month view looks and some details there. We went over the weekly view and we went over the daily view. I showed you how to what you can use these other areas of the monthly, weekly, and daily tabs, and how you can start thinking about how that will work into your workflow. For today, we're going to go to the next tab, which is lists. And this is a really awesome feature with Artful Agenda. So you can have your grocery list, you can have your maybe a protocol that you do and you need the step-by-step, maybe emergency contact information, things like that. You can store that here in Artful Agenda. It's very, very handy. I use this primarily for my grocery list. That's why I'm sharing my grocery list here today with you, to kind of show you what you can use and how you can organize these lists. So here I have the 2 grocery stores that we typically go grocery shopping at, Whole Foods and Draeger's. That's local down here in San Mateo. And so you can see I've made lists. So let's go over all of the features here. Very similar to a regular document. You can bold, italic, underline, strike through. You can make a numbered list, a bulleted list. You can change whether the font is to the left, the center, or to the right. So you can change that formatting. And then at the top, you can see, I clicked on that on the groceries, you can see all of my lists. So that's how you can start seeing all of your lists. The H, this is a heading. The check mark, you can watch where the cursor is near the word whole by Whole Foods. And when I click on the check mark next to the H icon, it'll make it a checklist, and then I'll just tap it back and make it move back because I don't want that to happen. Now, if you would like a new list, you can click on that little paper icon with the little folded corner, and that will create a new list. And you can say, we can call this new list demo. And then we can play around with this here. So we can, let's make huge writing, huge title, right? And then we can make it maybe large. So we can do a medium title. Okay. Let's see, let's underline some of this or make some of the font a different color. So if we wanted to make this medium, let's see if this will let me do it. Okay, select. So if I wanted to come over here, I could make it red, right? Oops. Select all, red. There, oh, it's highlighted. So I clicked on the highlight. I meant to click on the other one. That's okay. It might not let me do that. But there you go. You can highlight it and unhighlight it. Let's see, select all and unhighlight. Pew. There we go. Just playing around with that a little bit. So that is what you can do with lists. You can take this with you and add to it when you're at the grocery store. Then it's not really, where is my list? Or maybe you dropped it or something. I don't know. My lists used to get, all my notepads used to get pretty crinkly and I couldn't find them. And it was kind of a pain to kind of try to keep track of all of those notes. So this has been very helpful to attach to your calendar, so you can kind of use those in sync with each other. So it's very, very, very helpful. All right, let's see, so a couple things I want to go back to. I'll go back to my grocery list here and I want to show you a couple things. So with salmon, you can see the clock icon and the little trash icon. And so what you can do here is, say you make a list, maybe your protocol or maybe your morning routine, and you'd like to add those, or you'd like to add a reminder or a due date on them. That is what that little clock icon can do. So for humor, let's say for the salmon, we're going to click on that. We're going to make that. Oh, and you can send that. You can send that task to whichever area of the week or month list that you have. Whoops. So I'll click back on there. So you can see personal house chores. That's one of my customized little sections in my calendar. So I'm going to click on here, and you can see all of the areas that have the goals. So on the month, it has monthly goals, week, it has weekly goals, day, it has your daily goals. And then on the daily goals, I have even more customization with those little sections where I have my morning routine or daily routine, daily reflections, and personal house chores. So if I'm going to need to do the salmon, so that would be more of the personal house chores. That would mean that I would need to get that salmon. So I'll move it to the personal house chores area, and it's going to be due today on the 11th, and I'm going to press OK. Now let's go back to today. See? I must have done it a couple different times, but there's the little salmons. So I moved that, and it stayed on the list, which is really awesome. And you might hear my doggy dreaming in a second. She's right behind me in her bed. She's dreaming right now. But you can see, you can move that task, and it will not leave the list. Let's confirm that it's not leaving the list, right? But you can see, there it is on the Whole Foods list. But on my day, I have, hey, you got to make sure you pick up that salmon. So you can do that with any type of task that's in a list. You can move it over to your calendar. It's pretty awesome how that workflow works. All right, back to lists. That's going to kind of conclude it. Obviously, you can delete anything. So if we were like, we don't want the eggplant, parmesan, and garlic bread, which is such a lie, we totally want that. But if we didn't, in this case, for the sake of this demo, we can click on that little trash can and it'll disappear. Okay. So those are the lists. That's an excellent little tab. You can really utilize that. You can keep task lists or chore lists and things like that you'd like to do. Maybe you have a garden and you want to maybe create a watering schedule. You can use one of those lists for your watering schedule, and you can set you can set up the lists, kind of get it all out like a brainstorm dump, and then you can organize those tasks and those watering milestones in your calendar. So that's just a thought. All right, so next what we're going to do, you can see in the upper right corner, there's those 3 lined icons. We're going to click on that. And here is where you can kind of play around with the settings a bit. So we'll open up the calendar settings. So here are all my calendars. And so you can manage the calendars here. So when you sign up for Artful Agenda, you can connect your Google, iCloud, or Microsoft calendars to this application. And then you can basically monitor them in this area. So I'm going to click back. You can sync the calendars if you're somebody who likes to have your first day of the week be Monday, and then the weekend kind of on the end of the week tailed. You can certainly switch that over. I have roll over incomplete tasks. So if I have any of my month, week, or day, if those do not roll, or if those are not completed, if I don't click that I've completed those, I've asked the calendar to please roll those over to the next day. Next, you can have your international date format. That's completely your choice. And then we'll scroll down to theme settings. So this is the cool part. This one makes me happy. So first we're going to go to the handwriting. You can choose what kind of handwriting you want for your planner. So I'm currently using the Handly, but you can use pop-ins. I had pop-ins for a while, and then it will change the way that the text looks every time for your lists and your calendar. This is for your lists and your calendar. It's not separate. I'm going to go back to Handly, but that's one of the cool things that you can do here. And then you also here, this is nice, you can use the handwriting for event titles. So that's kind of cool. You can turn that on or off. All right, one of my favorite parts of Artful Agenda is that you can choose the cover. This is one of my favorites. So this is probably my all-time favorite cover that they have here already. I've used this one the most, but what you can do is look at all of these awesome covers that you can choose from. Some of these are going to cost, but most of them are free. I did just purchase one that was for the holiday season because it had nutcrackers and it wasn't full on like Christmas tree. I'll show you, we're getting to that spot in a second, but it wasn't full on Christmas trees or like the regular decor. It was like the Nutcracker Ballet and that sort of thing. So that was just definitely more up my alley. So if you see any of these covers that you're like, man, this one, I've used this one a lot as well, especially in the summertime. I thought this one was really cool. This is like leopard animals on top of the leopard print, which is kind of interesting. And then there's these leathery ones, book cover. Here's the Christmas ones that I got, the holiday ones. And I used this one during the holidays, almost like a hot pink plaid, which I thought was pretty cool. And then I used this one, the sugar plums. This is kind of like a ugly sweater. Not really, it's not ugly. Obviously it's very cute, but kind of like that sweater material, and then some stars. And that was the end of that. So you can choose your cover. And this is the cool part is if you're like me, sometimes you need a little shift in your calendar. So how nice would it be during the Halloween? You can have these cute little spiders or these adorable little ghost friends and goblins. You know, they're super cute. I guess those are skulls, not goblins. But either way, you have a lot of choices here and they're really cute and they're seasonal and that's a lot of fun. So you can have a lot of fun with these. And since I have become or been a user of Artful Agenda, these covers have changed. They constantly are adjusting and creating new ones. So it's really, really awesome that they allow that and they offer that. Account settings next. So my account, I recommend that you look at this area on your desktop versus the calendar or versus the application itself on any other devices, tablets or phones, because it doesn't show you everything. You do need to go to your computer, your desktop, or your browser on your tablet to locate on some of the other things. Like for instance, the referral code. If you really like it and you want to spread the word about it, you can have a referral code as well. Another thing I really appreciate about Artful Agenda is their future settings. This was blank for a little bit. Now they've added to it. So now they have an offline functionality. So these are things that they're working on currently. A list tab for sorting and filing those lists. So that's really cool. So maybe this is just a guess. I have no idea what they're doing, but maybe color coding them, right? So you can color code your calendars. So maybe you can color code your lists. I'm not really sure what they're going to do, but somehow they're going to allow us to sort and file away those list tabs. So that's going to be pretty neat. I'm excited to see how they do that. Color and highlighting tasks. That's going to be awesome too, because with my paper planner, I used to love color coding and marking up all of my tasks with highlighters and such. And then this is actually my feature request. Resize and hide the week view. So oops, let me show you what I mean by that. I'm so excited when I saw that this was mine. So in the desktop version, this area of, let's see if I can, I don't know if I should show that or try to show that. But anyways, what they're going to be doing, it sounds like, is they're going to try and fix this, where when you're on the computer with the week version, the weekly goals kind of goes up into the weekly layout, and so you have to scroll through the weekly layout. It's not a flat static page, where I'd prefer it if I could eliminate the weekly goals and the meals below that. so I can see a flat week. I don't want to have to scroll. For some reason, I don't like that. So I was like, hey, this is a little tiny thing, but it is something that kind of affects my workflow. So I was just curious, and sure enough, here it goes. They're on it. So I really appreciate that. And if you do use this and you're like, hey, I really could use this or this feature, you can always reach out to them, and I'll show you how. Next, if you need to search anything, you can certainly use the search bar up here. Search something. I use this when I'm like, I accidentally put in an appointment and then it shows up on the completely wrong day, or the actual like today. Like if I make a medical appointment for a future date, I would not change the date and it would be like today, it would be on today. So, or sometimes I would accidentally put it in a weird date and not pay attention to that part. And then I'd have to search for that appointment. And so that's where this comes in handy, where you can search for that appointment and then you can correct it. I have done that several times. Okay, tutorials, if you want, you can check out how to do that on your own. And then tech support. Anytime you need any support with anything, you can ask or tell them what type of message it's going to be or what's happening or other. And then if you want to suggest something, obviously you would select Artful Suggestion. All right. So if you're interested in utilizing Artful Agenda, if you think that this would be an application that would really help you, I personally think it's just a lot of fun to have this. It just kind of fills in having that paper planner. I am a huge fan of that, and I really utilize the heck out of those. So this allows me to do the same in a mobile application. So I'm very excited about that. If you're interested, I would love to invite you to take advantage of my referral code. It's RV45812, and you go to app.artfulagenda.com, and then there will be an area where you can place your referral code in there, and let me know if you need any guidance or if you would like any support setting up your calendar and having kind of a one-on-one little demo and learning a little bit more about how you're going to utilize this calendar. I would be happy to do a little one-on-one demo with you. So let me know if you use this referral code, and I would be happy to help you set up your calendar. All right, I will let you go. Thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you next week for part 3. Have a great rest of your day.